Hola amigos y amigas, bienvenidos nuevamente a este espacio. Estamos acompañados nuevamente por Michael Oku, luchador británico. Welcome Michael, it's a pleasure to have you once again here.
Glad to be back, Pep. How you doing?
In Barcelona, Spain. He's making his debut for RCW. We want to do some questions to you. You've been busy as usual. Are you ready?
Yeah, no, I'm ready. I'm ready for RCW. You know, this is a busy weekend, a busy week for me in general. So this is match 2 of the 3 matches I'm going to have this weekend or this week. But I'm very excited. I take no days off. No match is an easy match or a match to relax. I'm going to give it 100% for the fans that are in attendance. That's what I do. That's what I believe in.
You are going to make your debut in RCW, not your first rodeo in Spain, and also not your first rodeo against your opponent tonight, which is Iker Navarro, the RCW Men's World Champion. You have wrestled him at RevPro a few weeks ago. So how is the preparation for this title match? And this, you know, it's not the first time you've wrestled before against him, but it's your first time in this promotion.
And I think that's what makes this more interesting for me. There's definitely something to be said as a wrestler about confidence. When you are confident, it can take your ability to another level. It can take your performance to another level. And I have seen time and time again the platform of RevPro get to people and get in people's heads, and that can affect their confidence, and therefore it can affect their performance. I'm not saying that's the reason I was able to beat Iker Navarro, but I'm saying that when I've seen him wrestle in Barcelona, when I've seen him wrestle in Spain, it's nearly a completely different animal. So for tonight's match, I'm sure that the crowd's going to be electric, and I'm sure he's going to be at the top of his game because he's at home, he knows the people, he's the champ. He's going to be walking in with such a confidence that will ensure that the both of us will have a really, really good match.
Also, there was a match that occurred 2 times in 2 different parts of the United Kingdom. You face one of the upcoming prospects of the UK, Leon Cage. You wrestled him in Wales before, one banger match, and then you wrestled again in RevPro, something similar to the scenario of Iker Navarro. So how was wrestling him? You know, he's such a young talent, but with special conditions.
Yeah, it really puts a smile on my face, just someone like Leon Cage existing, because he's so young and is so excited about professional wrestling. And I look at a Leon Cage, someone who, when I met him last year, he was 16. When the pandemic hit, I think if I got it right, he started training just before the pandemic hit. So during the global pandemic where people have COVID and everything, he was about 12, 13 years old. And to me, it was so important that there was a wrestling scene for Leon Cage to be part of, to be proud of as well. And so that to see someone like him who is flourishing and getting to wrestle the places that he's able to wrestle. He's already wrestling in different countries around Europe, and now he's getting his shot in RevPro. It really warms my heart, it really does. It's a kid that's just trying to do everything. He's getting in the ring and he's doing everything. He's like, who are my favorite wrestlers? what are the coolest moves that I know? Can I do them? I'm gonna do them. And that's what he does, and it provides really, really exciting matches. And then he's clearly been able to, there's an ability to garner a connection with the crowd. That's an ability. The same way your athletic ability, your ability to talk, just being able to connect with an audience is something that you can't teach, or it's difficult to teach. And he knows how to do that at a young age. And I feel like that's what's gonna help propel him to, I mean, who knows how high. I really think there's no ceiling on Leon Cage.
The last time that we saw each other was during the Global Wars Royal Quest Weekender in the United Kingdom. That time you first had a match against Ricky Knight Jr. The winner gets the title shot for the undisputed British Heavyweight Championship. You had an epic match, one of the best of that weekend. You defeated Ricky. So how was the experience live there and at Doncaster Dome, which is also a special venue?
Yeah, again, that's my first time wrestling at Doncaster Dome. The first time I was scheduled to wrestle there was for 1PW's return, but then I got a booking for Royal Quest, I believe 2? Royal Quest 2, which was the same day at Crystal Palace. I'm like, here, I'm gonna debut for New Japan Pro Wrestling. So I made the decision to choose New Japan over 1PW, which meant that it took a while before I ever wrestled at Doncaster Dome. Finally happened, lovely venue, oh my gosh, an amazing venue, and then the battle that I had with Ricky, we were just talking about Leon Cage, my match with Leon Cage was the day before. I wrestled Leon Cage in Wales, and then here comes Ricky Knight Jr. that I'm taking on in Doncaster. And, to me, it was very, very important. I didn't speak to Ricky about it. I can only speak for myself when the way I saw Global Wars, I saw it as we are getting the best wrestlers from the world and putting them on a RevPro show. And we knew that we stood out as we're 2 RevPro wrestlers. I've done a lot of global things, so you can argue that I am the global wrestler that is representing the world as well as RevPro, but we're 2 RevPro wrestlers having a match on a show that's really about, hey, here are these worldwide wrestlers coming to your town. So I felt there was a chip on my shoulder, and I think sometimes you could feel it without saying it. I think that was the same thing with Ricky. So we made sure that we gave everything that we had out there, and we made sure that we did everything in our power to steal the show, which I think we did. I think a lot of people left saying that we had the best match, and that's all you can ask for. And of course it led to, that was not the contenders match, and it leads to your call where I get one more match against Luke Jacobs.
Also in that weekend, you compete once again in New Japan, Royal Quest 4 at Crystal Palace. You face Kosei Fujita from TMDK. It was a big match for Fujita, who is one of the upcoming talents of New Japan, of the junior heavyweight division. How was the experience of wrestling him?
Very, very cool. See, this is when I get imposter syndrome. This is when, because like the way you said it is something that I kept seeing a lot of people say, in the sense that like, this is a big match for Fujita. This is, while wrestling Michael Oku is a big match for him. And I didn't see it that way. I saw it as, this is my first singles match for New Japan. I get to wrestle a talent like Fujita. I'm excited. I'm nervous. But I finally, with all the New Japan matches I'd had in the past, all the Royal Quests, it was all in tag matches. Every single thing was a tag match. And I just feel that I didn't get the best chance of showing what I could do. I feel like the best way I could show what I can do, or who Michael Oku is as a wrestler, is in a singles match. So I put a lot of pressure on myself to look at this as an opportunity to show New Japan, this is who I am and this is what I do as a singles. And I left feeling really happy with how the match went. I think, the crowd were really electric for our match, and Fujita, you could just tell, there's always something about the young lions, New Japan young lions, the people that go through that system. They are beyond fundamentally sound, but not just when it comes with the technique of their moves, but with their fire, with their selling, the whole package that comes with pro wrestling that everybody should be good at. They've got that so strong, and I had a wonderful time being in the ring once again in Crystal Palace, but once again for New Japan, first time singles match against Fujita. I really have lovely, great things to say about him as a talent.
Then you had a short excursion in the US. You competed at Arrival against Zachary Wentz from TNA, who also has competed in RevPro last month. So how was your experience during this short trip and wrestling with him?
Yeah, so I mean, he was in Coventry for RevPro the week before we wrestled in New Jersey for Arrival, and I didn't really think about it until I saw him in Coventry. I was like, oh yeah, we're going to be in New Jersey wrestling each other in 7 days. So I was very excited to have that match. We have wrestled in the past. That was for Riptide in 2019 in a tag match. The Rascals, him and Desmond Xavier Wesley against me and Mills. And I really remember just loving that match and how it went. So for us to be, I would say myself, completely different wrestler from 2019 to the one that I am now. And the same thing for Zachary Wentz, just a lot more singles opportunities that he's had. To come to this show, Arrival, with like a relaunch of a promotion, to be the main event on the weekend of Full Gear in New Jersey, a very, very cool experience. And I think we delivered. I think we gave the crowd like a match that they can feel like, oh yeah, that's why that was the main event. Those two deserve to be the main event, and they proved why they went on last. I think we worked well together, and I hope that's not the last time that me and Zachary Wentz wrestled.
Also, this week you had one dream match for the United Kingdom independent scene. You wrestled Caro at Riot Cabaret. Riot Cabaret is always fun, and this was a match that we haven't seen in 5 years, more or less. So how was the experience of wrestling with him? With, like you mentioned before, with Zachary Wentz, you are not the same wrestler you were 5 years ago. He's not the same wrestler that he was 5 years ago. He's coming also from an injury, and also in this special environment that is Riot Cabaret.
Yeah, exactly. I think it's so, to use the word dream match, it's hard to find a match that are between two British independent wrestlers that hasn't already happened multiple times over. And what makes it, I guess, a dream match in the sense of, did you think this match would happen, is just our allegiances, in the sense that, I'm primarily a RevPro guy, he is primarily a Progress guy, and like we were the top baby faces of both promotions. And it's ironic as well how our stories kind of intertwine, because I'm pretty sure he wrestled for RevPro first if you look back on it on Cage Match years ago, he wrestled for RevPro first, and then he did Progress later, and then became so synonymous with it. Me, the same thing. Progress first, and then synonymous with RevPro. And so here we are on neutral ground in the Clapham Grand for Riot Cabaret, having this match. I felt that we lived up to the expectations, as well as giving the audience some surprises by having Amira and Madame Guillotine involved. You could argue there might be some more to the story when it comes to me and Caro Noir in Riot Cabaret there, but again, for us to have that match, kickstart the show, probably surprised everybody by doing that. I think we delivered, and he showed how, even though he's coming back from an injury, he's still just as good as he was before the injury, 100%.
Final match, the one that you got the shot after beating Ricky Knight Jr., which is another title match against Luke Jacobs for the undisputed British Heavyweight Championship at Uprising. It's not your first rodeo against him. This is arguably the biggest match of the month, one of the biggest of the year, and maybe the biggest in the European scene now. So how has your preparation been for this match?
You know, when we had our match at the Copper Box, watched it back, and as the entrances are starting, Andy Quilden on commentary says, the most important match in Revolution Pro Wrestling history. And in my head, I'm like, is it? Like, why would he say that? Because he can't be saying it to sell tickets, because the tickets have been sold, the match is about to happen. So what does he mean by it being the most important? And I think what he meant by that is, here are two, again, last year's Copper Box show. I think it was heavily padded with so much outside talent. You had like an ex-WWE name in Mickie James. You had, of course, Will Ospreay versus Shingo. Yes, Will Ospreay is known for being RevPro, but he's, you know, a New Japan star, AEW star, wrestling New Japan star. That's the main event. Shibata returning to UK in ages. There's so much, I want to use the word padding, that you could argue is what got the numbers in and got people interested in coming to the Copper Box last year. Real and Shingo sold so many tickets on its own, 100%. So the fact that this year's Copper Box show was main evented by two British independent wrestlers, and we followed Zack Sabre Jr. and Hajisura. We followed, Mina Shirakawa, of course, was on the match, had won the title on the show. And we still drew nearly the exact same amount that we drew last year. I think that's why it was so important, to show that, yes, we can, if we can just get our phone number out, if Andy can get his, get his phone out and call and message people, he can get 4,000 people to come and see these wrestlers. But that is a quintessential RevPro match. Michael Oku versus Luke Jacobs. That was the main event. That is what we're saying as Revolution Pro Wrestling, and that is what we gave to the crowd. And I think people were very, very, overwhelmed with what we gave them, and loved that match. That's the fourth match that me and Luke have had. It just so happens to be 2-2, and so that's why I said in the promo, hey, let's do this rubber match. Everything's uncertain in terms of anybody's future in wrestling. So I want at least one more match so we can just put a stamp on who is the better wrestler. And there's no reason why I can't be a two-time undisputed British heavyweight champion. So that's what I'm looking to do. And if I'm not able to do that, then I'm able to say, okay, Luke, fair play. You are the man in British wrestling.
Okay, yeah, seems fair. I believe it's also needed, a rubber match, to see who can lead RevPro in this new era we're starting now. But what's next? We're ending 2024, which was also a big year for you. You competed in America, defended the championship where you were in Mexico, in the US, in Canada. So what's next for you?
Well, for 2025, it's continuing to challenge myself. The year of 2024, even though I've done so much in British wrestling, I was able to have so many new first-time matchups with, again, veteran wrestlers like Rampage Brown, women that I've been fans of like Emerson Jane, but then, prospects like a Leon Cage. I've run the gamut of finding new people within British wrestling. I want to see who else I can find to wrestle that's new in 2025. But then, it's not just British wrestling I'm looking at. I'm looking to expand my name, continue to expand my name around the world. I've got my name out there in Mexico, in Costa Rica. I mean, every continent nearly I've wrestled in. It's now trying to see, maybe I go to promotions that I've not been to in a while to get matches that I haven't had ever. Maybe it's new tournaments to win that I've never been in. I'm just looking for all things new when it comes to 2025, and I think that path will become clear when people see the places that I pop up really, really soon.
Thank you for your time, Michael. It's been a pleasure to have you. Do you have any message for the fans?
Again, I think the message is very similar to the last time we had an interview. It's just to thank the fans for the support and thank you for caring. It's what makes wrestling work. It's what makes wrestling worthwhile, is the fact that there are people that care about what we do as wrestlers and what I do. So it's very much appreciated. I will continue to give my body and keep wrecking my body if that provides you with entertainment. And again, just all I can ask is for you to continue to follow my journey. Some of you have been there, not even some, but a lot of you have been there since match number 1. And for those people that have stuck by me, you motivate me to keep doing more, to keep pushing more, to kind of reward you for the support that you've given me all these years. By you saying that you're a fan of me, I need to then go out there and prove you guys right if you say that I'm the best, or I'm one of the best. So that's my main thing. I can only be appreciative of my fans and everybody that watches my matches.
Ok, eso ha sido todo por hoy, amigos. Hasta la próxima.